Hello and welcome to this week's edition of CUTV Newscenter. I'm Danny Beck.
And I'm Stephen Ruffing.
Beginning with the news out of Brownsville tonight, a former restaurant and bar may open their doors once again, but with a slight change to the clientele. Residents in the area of Water Street in the town of Brownsville may have a new business in town after the owner of the DVE Sports Bar and Grill proposed plans for a halfway house and rehab center that would allow the once vacant business to serve patrons yet again. The residents in the surrounding area fear for the youth in the neighborhood due to a bus stop being a mere feet from the door of the establishment. A report from WPXI noted that Brownsville officials said the Fayette County Zoning Hearing Board has delayed the decision for 45 days. A Valentine's Day power outage left most of the students who live in the residence halls on campus without power for just under 24 hours. Alerts were sent out to students via email in the early hours of February 14th, stating that due to a power outage on campus, the university was closed and classes were canceled for the day. Crews sprung into action to alleviate the outages while the university set up warming stations and areas for students to charge their phones in the Natalie Student Center and the Convocation Center.
During the 24-hour-long power outage, students sought refuge in Natalie Student Center.
I had to leave campus to charge my phone, but once this was open, we're just hanging out in here. I've been here for a couple hours.
The university was able to maintain power in the Student Center, and the Gold Rush was able to remain open.
I've just been taking advantage of being able to charge my laptop here and not fall behind in schoolwork. Rush is still open, so we can actually eat.
Power was restored Thursday evening around 9 p.m., allowing students to return to their normal activities.
Power was restored around 9 o'clock on the romantic holiday, and classes resumed normal operation the following day.
The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation is reminding drivers of new laws or laws that may not be known to the public for Highway Safety Laws Awareness Week. The week consists of PennDOT and Pennsylvania State Police teaming up to update drivers on new rules of the road and a refresher to lesser-known laws. The state police have put out 8 videos explaining in full detail of laws that drivers may not be familiar with, such as harsher penalties for DUIs and laws against wearing headphones while driving. The Week of Awareness started last week and runs until Saturday, February 23rd. Since a fire at Clairton Coke Works, there has been 7 instances where sulfur dioxide has been found in the air. After a fire in the factory, equipment that takes SO2 out of the air was destroyed. Over the course of 2018, U.S. Steel's Clairton Coke Works facility have racked up more than $1.6 million in fines from violations of air quality standards. Now a pair of environmental groups say they plan to sue U.S. Steel because of the pollution. Experts at the Allegheny County Health Department say that the increased levels of sulfur dioxide are a direct result of the Clairton Coke Works.
The spring semester has been a rocky one for students and faculty of the university, as it seems like each week brings a new obstacle for the class schedule. On Wednesday of this week, the weather bug bit California yet again as slush and snow accumulated and led to another cancellation for the university. While students might be happy to welcome yet another day off, meteorologists might have something to add to this conversation. And we have just the man for the job in Dylan Godet, who gets to take his sports anchor hat off for this story in order to break down what Mother Nature has been throwing at us. Welcome, Dylan.
Yeah, well, thank you, Danny. Wednesday was a crazy one. Wednesday morning was definitely crazy. Props to the university for making the right call there and closing the university. Let's head on over to the green screen now as we have a look at our forecast for the weekend.
Let's take a look at the forecast for our weekend. Here's a weekend outlook as we see that system working its way across the middle of the country. That's really today on Friday on into Saturday. That system's going to be working its way from the center part of the country up into our neck of the woods. Snow on the backside of it, but unfortunately for you snow lovers, we'll just have rain. And unfortunately for your houses that are near some streams and some rivers, you may see some flooding. So let's take a look at our forecast for Friday. Friday, seasonable day. Not too much in terms of rain. That'll be just off to the southern part of Virginia and into West Virginia and Kentucky. But for us here in the Pittsburgh area, chilly forecast. Not really too chilly though. Really seasonable weather. Low 40s. Really much better than what we've seen in the past couple days in terms of we've had rain, we've had snow, we've had colder temperatures. Today's just a normal February, late February, early March day. Now into Saturday, that's really where the rain starts to advance into the area. That really starts midday, so noon into 2 p.m. really start to expect those rain showers to work your way into the area. Again, upper in part into Michigan and into Wisconsin there, that's where the mix is. See, we're going to be much warmer than that. Highs in the low 50s possible on Saturday and into Sunday. And Saturday night, that's really where the rain really starts to pick up now. The backside of that, you can see the snow into Nebraska, into Illinois, upper parts of Illinois there, into Wisconsin as well. But for us, it is rain, and it is heavy rain at times Saturday night into Sunday. We could see the possibility of flooding, like I mentioned, as well as some really high winds. Let's take a look at that flood potential now. Really, the snow melt chance that you see there, again, these graphics are courtesy of AccuWeather. Thank you to AccuWeather for these graphics here. But the real chance of heavy rain and snow melt is in the center part of the state. For us, it's going to be heavy rain, 1 to 2 inches of rain. That's really going to swell these rivers and streams because we've seen rain all month. So far into 2019, the rain is well above average. So definitely the ground just can't hold too much rain. They're used to seeing ground really this time of the year used to having a lot of snowpack, things like that, but it's really been rain for us. And another threat is the wind potential. 50 to 60 mile an hour gusts possible Sunday night on into, Saturday night on into Sunday morning, and that could really hamper your travel plans. If you're traveling Saturday night into Sunday on those high bridges and overpasses, you really could feel that wind 50 to 60 miles an hour, a chance for some downed trees as well. So definitely on those ridge tops, if you're out near Uniontown, past Uniontown in the Laurel Highlands area, that's really where you could see those winds really pick up, closer to 60 miles an hour for the gusts. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And if you're a snow lover like I am, this next graphic here, we can take a look at why the winter storms have really brought more rain than snow. I was wondering this myself. The pattern really is more of a northerly track. As that works its way across, we really get the rain side of things. The southern part of these storms that work their way across the country, you really see rain on the southern side of it. That is what we have seen. The northern part really sees the snow. If you want to have a snowstorm for our area, that southerly track working its way right up the coast, for those nor'easters that you're accustomed to hearing about and seeing, that's really where you have your snow potential for us. And we've just yet to see that so far. There is a chance into March to see that, but right now, nothing really on the forecast. So no real big winter storms really to talk about for this winter. Let's take a look now at the forecast for the week. And again, Friday, great day for this time of the year. 44 degrees, a high of 44 degrees, perfect weather for this time of the year. Partly sunny. The baseball games for later today there in Washington, PA should be perfect playing conditions for that for this time of the year. You don't really like to play in 44-degree weather, but you have the chance to not see any rain, and that's really nice to see. But Saturday is really where that rain comes into effect there. High near 50 on Saturday. Saturday night into Sunday is where those showers start to go down a bit Sunday morning, but that wind really picks up. Sunday into Monday, both days going to be extremely windy, gusts near 50 to 60 miles an hour, so be sure to tie things down in your backyard. If you have any loose particles or anything in your backyard, be sure to tie those down, tie down the grill, anything like that. Make sure it doesn't blow away because you really have that chance. And then looking at the rest of the week on into Tuesday, Wednesday, that's the next chance for our system coming through. Wednesday, high of 40. Thursday, high of 39. That could change really what side of those storms that we are, whether we will see rain or snow showers. So be sure to stay up to date there with our CalU Meteorology Twitter page. Dalton Lochran does a great job with that, as well as the local National Weather Service in Pittsburgh. They do a great job forecasting for these snow and rain events.
Thank you, Dylan, for that report. And something that I want to touch on, because you mentioned it a little bit in the forecast, but talking a little bit about these weather storms, or the winter storms rather, that are bringing a lot of snow. Haven't seen a lot of that this year. Why is that the case?
Yeah, I'll explain a little bit more about that. There were two different storm tracks that were on that graphic there. The northerly storm track, there's not as much moisture. The Gulf of Mexico is really where we get our moisture in this part of the country. And quick little weather lesson for you guys and you at home, that the southerly storm track, a lot of moisture in it. And we're on the northern side of that, so that means we have a cold air coming from the north and west, which really, that's where we get our huge snow totals. If a storm starts in around Texas, Louisiana, works its way up the East Coast, that's when we get the huge storms because we're on the northwest side of it. Now, for those northerly tracks that go through the UP of Michigan and up through Wisconsin, those we usually get stuck with rain. And the pattern so far this winter has been those northerly track storms that we get stuck with the rain. We've had a lot of precipitation. It's just been rain and not snow.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to know is, explain to me, how did Las Vegas, somewhere in the middle of the desert, get snow?
And also with California too.
Yeah.
We were talking about that. I believe that was the same kind of system.
Yeah, definitely. It's California and out there in Las Vegas, the whole West Coast, crazy snowfall total. Seattle, not really known for their snow either. They had a snowstorm a few weeks ago. It's definitely different. It's for the first time in, I think, 2 or 3 years that any snow at all has fallen in Las Vegas, and the first time in, I believe, 10 years that they've received measurable snow.
Wow.
So it's definitely crazy to see. The ski resorts, though, out west, they are pulling in the snow. I expect them to stay open well into the early parts of spring because they have tons of snow to work with out there.
Yeah, I have a friend out in Los Angeles, and he was asking me how much snow we got because he got some. I was like, we got rain. So that's that one downfall, especially if you're a winter sports lover. I guess if you can go out, but now I guess go out west, find that snow. But when we come up after the break, Shamrock Shakes are back. Where they're here a little bit too early, and the university gets a new look with the help of Carnegie Dartlet. Stay tuned.
Mrs. and Mrs. Jimmy at the debut. I came from 5 generations of teachers. Losing my job was the bottom falling out of my world.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
Hamilton was adopted from a rescue in 2008. He really likes to be around people. And as soon as I start to make my breakfast, Hamilton is right there. I get out my mat and I'm doing a downward dog and he's underneath. He's quite the pug about town. He gets invited to a lot of parties. He knows he's a pretty big deal. I mean, look at this little face. How do you not love him?
As a student athlete in college, I first got involved with the NCAA at the national level. It was through the Student Athlete Advisory Committee, SAC, gave me an opportunity to advocate on behalf of all student athletes, to affect change and to make an impact. The NCAA is giving the student athlete a platform to voice their concerns and to be able to advocate for what's going to affect their well-being. The policies that are being put in place are speaking towards academics, they're speaking towards well-being, they're speaking towards fairness, creating a culture so that the student athletes have the best experience as possible.
Hello and welcome back to CUTV Newscenter. I'm Danny Beck.
And I'm Stephen Ruffing.
Seasonal items are a staple in the food industry. One of these timely treats is McDonald's Shamrock Shake. CUTV hit the cement to find out what's causing a stir in the world of shakes.
St. Patrick's Day is almost upon us, and that means that McDonald's has recently released their famous seasonal Shamrock Shakes. We decided to ask people what they thought about having the delicious drink before the month of March.
No, I think that ruins the whole festivity of the drink, you know. It's sort of, no. It's like drinking a Christmas drink in like April.
No, it is not acceptable because February is still quote-unquote Valentine's time. So before March, I wouldn't even say like the beginning of March you shouldn't have a Shamrock Shake. I give it like till March 5th, then you can start drinking Shamrock Shakes.
One, because the Shamrock Shake is predominantly for St. Patty's Day, so I think it should just be in March. But I don't think it's right to just cut it off at St. Patty's Day. I think they should just be around for the whole month of March. That way it stops the whole debate on whether you should start it sooner and end it, just have it in March.
I say it is because I'm anti-Valentine's Day, so I don't care about the month of February. But personally, it's up to you. I have no problem with it. But yeah, I would say definitely do it before March. You got to start celebrating St. Patrick's Day a little early.
The CalU Theater Department is starting the musical season off with Pasek and Paul's song cycle, Edges.
Dr. Michelle Pagan and the CalU Theater Department rehearsed this past week for Edges, a show that has been in the works since last spring.
Well, we actually we selected the show last spring, and the design process started over the summer for the set and those sorts of things. And then in the fall, the set was finalized, and they started to build on our first day back.
Although the set was finalized in the fall, the cast was just recently picked in the beginning of this semester.
We didn't cast until our first day back for this semester. So they were working on a 3.5-week rehearsal process before we went into tech. And then we went into tech, and then the performances here. So the cast, we didn't know who we'd be working with until our first day back in classes. And so that's when we cast everybody.
Despite the short casting notice, there was no real concerns, but the focus stayed on the storytelling.
When we got to this week, there were minimal, really, concerns with things. We wanted to make sure that they kept working on the storytelling, making sure they were telling the story of each song. Because it's not a musical, it's a song cycle, which means it's a series of songs that are united by themes.
A typical musical has a storyline and plot, but song cycles have a certain uniqueness about them.
It is a unique thing. And the songs relate to one another, but they're divided sort of into chapters. I mean, if you come and see the show, you will see there are transitions that take place within that transition you from one thematic line to another thematic line.
The past few weeks of rehearsals and planning are setting up for a full weekend of song and theater.
It is Pasek and Paul's Edges, which is a song cycle that opens tomorrow evening, Thursday, and runs Thursday, Friday, and Saturday at 7 p.m. with a matinee at 2 p.m. on Saturday.
And Pasek and Paul's Edges will be in the Blaney Theater right behind Steele Hall. It's that time of year again. Funny Freaking Fridays are back, and March 1st, SAB presents stand-up comedian Louis Ramey. Ramey is a stand-up comedian from Atlanta, Georgia, who has been featured on Comedy Central Presents and is known for being a finalist on Last Comic Standing 6 in 2008, where he made it in the top 5. Don't miss Ramey in the Vulcan Theater next Friday at 7 p.m. for the March edition of Funny Freaking Friday. This week in the Vulcan Theater, we have Marshall. Young Thurgood Marshall faces one of his greatest challenges while working as a lawyer for the NAACP. Marshall travels to conservative Connecticut when wealthy socialite Eleanor Strubing accuses black chauffeur Joseph Spell of sexual assault and attempted murder. He soon teams up with Sam Friedman, a local Jewish lawyer who's never handled a criminal case. Together, the two men build a defense while contending with racist and anti-Semitic views from those who deem Spell to be guilty. Showtimes are 11 a.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and 4 p.m., 7 p.m., and 10 p.m. Saturday and Sunday.
A rebrand of the university's logo, along with the athletic logos, brought excitement and energy to the Performance Center on Thursday. Athletic teams, members of the band, and university cheerleaders gathered to celebrate the event, and members of the university community joined. Along with the rebrand, expect to see a change in uniforms for athletic teams, the new logo replacing the past logo on athletic fields, and new merchandise to hit the shelves. More coming on this story later in sports. And Steve, just touching on that university logo, what a clean look that is.
It is. It's exciting. If you weren't able to get to the pep rally and surprisingly haven't seen it yet, just get ready for Dylan's package that he did in sports. But it is sharp. They even did the new university logo, which looks great. And they just wanted to kind of give a more modern feel to it, and I do like the way it turned out.
Yeah, it definitely is very cool. Once you check it out, Be sure to check out the text too, because there's a little bit of a hidden symbol in there. I'm not gonna spoil anything if you haven't seen the text, but we were talking last week on News Center about how we're gonna go out and buy some of that merchandise. That merchandise looks sweet. A lot of the athletic teams, they had the logo on shirts, and our own Noah Mitchell, he got one of those too. So we're just looking at them, and I'm definitely gonna have to go out there and scoop some up.
Oh yeah, it's gonna look great when everything's updated. The fields, courts, all the uniforms. Unfortunately, I don't think we will be here to see that in person, but it's going to be exciting. It's a very well done process.
Definitely a great job from Carnegie Dartland. When we come back from the break, Dylan Goday has your sports report. Stay tuned.
Are you a visual storyteller? The Cal Times and CUTV is looking for students with an interest in expanding their skills in photography and videography. We call it visual journalism, and we're here to offer you opportunities to learn how to shoot and edit from a wide range of events at California University of Pennsylvania. Our focus is on local coverage of sports and news events from campus and around the region. We provide on-site training as we help you develop your skills as a visual multimedia storyteller for the Cal Times newspaper and CUTV Newscenter. To learn more about visual journalism opportunities and join our team, visit our media production facility in the Natali Student Center or email the Cal Times at caltimes@calu.edu.
Welcome back to CUTV News Center. I'm Dylan Goday with your sports report. As was mentioned earlier, the new logo is here. It's time for a new era of both Vulcan Athletics and the university as a whole. We were all there to check it out yesterday. Let's head into footage to find out. And welcome back, and we'll head into the women's broadcast. Welcome back to CUTV News Center. I'm Dylan Goday with your sports report. As was mentioned earlier, it's time for a new era of Vulcan sports and the university as a whole. We were all there yesterday to check out the unveiling of the new logo. Let's head to the footage to check it out.
Thursday marked a new era for the university as the university and athletics departments unveiled their new logos. The process, which took months, was a long and strenuous one.
So about a year and a half ago, we started with we got a new marketing agency, and one of the strategies in our marketing plan was to rebrand both the academics and the athletics logo. So this is almost a 2-year process, finally coming to fruition today, where we got to unveil the new academic and athletics logos.
The university decided it was important to rebrand the athletic and university logos at the same time.
I think it works, if us going for a rebrand, we were rebranding everything at once. So not just the academic side with academic programs and students getting a refresh, but also with the student athletes and our athletics logo getting it at the same time. It shows the importance of how much both academics and athletics is important to the university.
Current students and alumni played critical roles in the designing process.
couple different things that we had. We did some online surveys to all the alumni. They were also able to come to campus or online and participate in the kind of like focus groups. So we did get a lot of good feedback. If you could have seen what the initial sketches looked like to what this is today, way different. And without our help from alumni and students and the rest of the campus population, this would have looked a lot different. So I think they did a very good job to come together and give some of the good ideas. And the marketing teams and design firms really came through in the end.
The turnout for the event was spectacular as students and faculty filled their performance center.
Absolutely. I think it's very important for us to get together as a campus community and be able to be unified. And this is definitely one of those events that brought everybody together for the same purpose in the right direction.
What an event that was. We all had a great time there. Thank you to Ryan Barnhart, their Director of Alumni Center, for doing that interview with us. He did a great job explaining really the process that went into fixing both the university logo and the sports logo at the same time. Now on Wednesday, the women's basketball team headed up to Mercyhurst to take on the Mercyhurst Lakers. We don't have any highlights from that because it was up in Erie and we couldn't go because of the snow that fell on Wednesday. So let's take out the scoreboard now. California came with a big win, 76-56. California actually scored over 50 points in the first half. You see they're ranked number 18 now, the latest rankings as well. Sierra Barrett's finished with 15 points, 8 rebounds. She actually went down injured in that game. We were all worried watching the live stream of it. She came back and continued to play in that game. Abby Sporio as well. Great game, 15 points, 6 rebounds, 5 steals. That sounds like your typical Abby Sporio game. Next game is against IUP. Boy, that's going to be a good one this Saturday, 1 o'clock in the Convocation Center. Be one of the first 100 students. Guess what? You get a free new Vulcans logo t-shirt. Speaking of the women's basketball team, now the standings as they see 2 spots down of IUP. IUP 17-1 in the West, 22-1 overall. California 15-3 and 21-3 overall. Not a lot of games left, but can California close that break? It's going to have to come with a win this Saturday. In the Atlantic region rankings as well, IUP sits at 1, Virginia Union at 2, Glenville State at 3, California at 4. A lot of things can change, though, the final few weeks of the season, but these are the first official rankings. And the women's basketball player, another one, earned PSAC Player of the Week. This time it was Sierra Barrett yet again. Having a fantastic season is Sierra Barrett. Like we said, she looked like she was going to go down with an injury there on Wednesday, but she battled back, had another nice game, and great to have her having such a great season. The men also traveled up to Mercyhurst, but did not come away with a victory like the women's basketball team. Let's check out the scoreboard from the men. Again, still shorthanded with a lot of injuries on this team. They fall to Mercyhurst 89-61, and this pretty much knocks them out of conference competition to make the conference tournament at the end of the year. Brent Pegram finished with 19 points, 3 assists, 5 steals. Colin McAdams finishes with 10 points, 13 rebounds, another double-double for him there, and he continues his fantastic season. They head against IUP this Saturday as well. IUP 16-2 in the conference and 23-2 overall. That's going to be a tough one. Now we have the schedules, the upcoming schedules of all the sports. It's now the time of the year that overlaps both the winter schedule and the spring schedule. Let's take a look at the games going on right now. Actually, their baseball team is taking on Walsh, and last time I checked, it was 5-0 was the score there. That one, as well as the PSAC championships for swimming. And keep up to date with Cal Vulcan's Twitter page. They do a great job updating how everyone's performing there with swimming at the PSAC championships. They take on the women's and men's basketball team take on Indiana this Saturday. And the track and field teams have the indoor track and field PSAC championships there on February 23rd, so be sure to check that one out. And February 27th, we have a trip up to Seton Hill for the men's and women's basketball teams. We should have that one on CUTV. But guys, baseball team taking on Walsh right now. Just heard an update. A freshman just hit a home run off the scoreboard. That's awesome for the baseball team.
It is great, and it's also great to have those spring sports back in. Always love that. CUTV goes out and covers, I believe, 2 or 3 games for the baseball team and softball teams all over the place now. So we're going to try to maybe see if we can hit one of those up in Greensburg. But you know, I love the sports season, and baseball is back, and that's also very cool to see a freshman hitting a home run.
Yeah, and just doubling up on Dylan, your weather and sports, beautiful weather for the baseball teams.
Yeah, definitely. Late February, who would think a team in Pennsylvania is able to host a game, but the nice facilities out there at Wild Things Park, and that's great for them. Cold weather, so maybe you have to sit there with some blankets, but definitely you're able to play baseball in late February. That's a huge
Yeah.
win. And you know Coach Conti and the baseball team happy to be having the season finally start up.
Yeah, when I say beautiful weather, I'm basically just saying no snow
Yeah, the sun's out.
and no rain. The sun is out, so that's great.
Yeah, definitely for sure. And I three-headed for me today this week doing
Yeah.
news, sports, and weather. It was tough, but I had a good time doing all three.
Yeah, multiple caps. He's multi-talented, I could say. So thank you for joining us tonight on CUTV Newscenter.
Be sure to check out our YouTube channel at CUTV Newscenter and our Twitter page at CUTV_PA.
Don't forget that the Cal Times will be publishing a new edition of the newspaper in 1 week across campus. Also tune into WCAL 91.9 FM in your car or online at sai.calu.edu/WCAL.
Thank you for watching and have a great rest of your evening.